are back, Jets fans. Welcome to the Underdog Jets Podcast with Wayne Chrebet on this Wednesday after week 3, a disappointing loss for the Jets. There's a lot of chatter out there. Fans are frustrated. We understand. And one man who I know was there for sure because I saw him with the Zoom on my camera at midfield at halftime, helping celebrate Nick Mangold in the Ring of Honor is number 80, Wayne Chrebet.
Hey, how's it going? I know it's a lot to talk about, based on this past loss, but there still are some positives. So let's have you start. I know you want to start on the negative. You're
Yep.
talking about the defense.
I got to get my Joe Benigno in me out quick. Watching it in real time. Now, I watched the film afterwards. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but I didn't understand the defensive game plan coming in. I mean, this Jets defense, they're vanilla. They're not an aggressive defense. They rely on the front four, which has not been getting home. So I understand the mindset. Hey, let's blitz them. Let's be aggressive. But it's tough to do that against this quarterback. Elite quarterbacks in this league, if you blitz and the timing isn't right, he's going to shred you apart. And on pretty much almost 50% of the plays on that first series, they blitzed. It didn't work. They actually got down to a good situation, 3rd and 12, 3rd and goal at the 12-yard line, and 4-man rush, but they gained it up front, a couple of stunts, and outside contain was broken. Burrow scrambled. I just didn't understand the game plan because I want to shorten the game. I want to give Burrow fewer opportunities. So play a shell, keep everything in front, and then play the red zone game. That's what I thought they were going to do. Did they perhaps outsmart themselves? I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that, but didn't understand it. It was disappointing. But, good things coming at practice today. Zach Wilson is back, looks good, and we'll see what you have to say on the positive side there.
You should apply for the job. You know so much about it. You've been in the film room with the guys. Listen, they made a game plan. It didn't work for the most part, but they're trying to put pressure on the guy, but every time they close to getting to him, he kicked out of it. Basically, that was the difference in the game between Flacco and Burrow. Burrow was able to kick out of the tackles and extend the play, where Flacco, they got him. I know people are complaining that Coach Sal's defensive coach and philosophy and all that, but like I said, it just didn't work. They're trying to rush the throws. And based on coming in, I know he'd been sacked like 13 times in 2 games. So I thought they could get to him. But I think that's why Quinn Williams and the coach got into it based on the philosophy they were going with in the game.
Yeah, I missed that. I did not even see it on the broadcast.
You see it on social media?
I didn't even see it, the video yet, no.
Oh, they're screaming at each other, like pushing each other.
You know what? I don't mind it. They push each other too. I mean, I don't mind the fiery aspect of it. I want that out of my players and coaches. I want that competitiveness. But and it's one of those things where I understand both sides. Quinnen wants to get there in a 4-man conventional way. Saleh has got to tell him, hey, we have a different game plan. We have a hierarchy here. We have a DC with a game plan. So I understand both sides. But, Quinnen, that first touchdown, 3rd and 12, they did a stunt. Quinnen had outside contain and let Burrow break out. So, hey, I'd like to see that fieriness, but they just did not execute.
Yeah, well, I think this week's going to be a lot different headed to Pittsburgh. Is Trubisky still the quarterback?
He's still the quarterback.
Yeah. Well, actually, he's pretty mobile, too. He just doesn't have the weapons nor the accuracy that someone like Burrow has. He's more of a game manager. But I'm sure they're going to go back and look at the film. I'm sure they're going to correct their mistakes and switch it up. They have to do something at this point. What we thought they were going to be, they're not obviously yet, but they do have the talent. So let's move to the Zach Wilson coming back. We don't need to talk about the offense. This didn't work out, but what is the feeling at camp about Zach Wilson coming back?
Yeah, I mean, he looked good today. He was out there. I was at practice doing the individual drills before. They kick us out before teams, but he looked good. No brace, nothing on the leg. So I think, to your point with Flacco, in this league, you got to have a guy who could move a little bit. And listen, Flacco, hats off to him for the Cleveland game, but Zach Wilson, as long as he progresses, he's going to be a big plus.
Yeah, he is the quarterback of the future. I know they get the Mike White chance ready, but yeah, at that point last week, if they did put Mike White in, it would just stir up another whole, deal with now what are they going to do, if Zach starts off slow. So they're better. They're better off being on the road at Pittsburgh for his first start. This way, if he starts slow, which could happen, he's not up to game speed yet. It could happen. He's not going to hear the boos. He's not going to hear the Mike White chant. So I think it's a perfect situation to go out there and play another tough team, but it's certainly a winnable game.
What do you think about the tackle situation now that George Fant is out? So we know Becton's done for the season. Dwayne Brown is still a week away. I think Dwayne Brown will come back next week. They're hurting, and we saw Hendrickson kill them this past Sunday. What do you think that situation? How that's going to play out with Wilson coming back?
I know they signed a new left tackle who has like 20 or something starts. But they just have to change the game plan, some quicker, high percentage stuff. And they got to, get the run going. I mean, that'll help the play action. That'll help everything. The fact that they don't have TJ Watt, I don't think he's back.
Right.
Is certainly a plus, but they just have to downsize, the playbook. And the biggest thing you're talking about third and long, they can't take negative plays and sacks and penalties on first down and stupid penalties. So, you can't get in those situations 3rd and 10 and above because it limits your playbook. And you have situations where you're going 3 and outs. And that's certainly, they need to get in the rhythm fast next week.
Yeah, and that's another positive you hit on. Zach Wilson, his release is one of his best attributes. He's so fast with it. So hopefully he gets it in and out. LaFleur is going to do a lot of chipping on the outside, with that wing running back look. You're going to leave tight ends in, perhaps, to help on the left side. Thank goodness Mitchell has been good on the right side. He's been, hasn't been an all-pro by any means, but for a mid-round offensive lineman has been really good. So Wilson coming back, no TJ Watt, I think hopes are high, and they should be.
Gotcha. See a question from Edward Delgado. Is Garrett Wilson healthy? What did you see at camp?
Yeah, he's fine. And that hit that he took, man, it was sort of a semi-hospital ball from Flacco.
Yeah.
But, I know you probably thought that immediately too. But it was like there was side rib cage. I kind of thought he got the wind knocked out of him at first.
Yeah, I missed that. I heard about it later. I was in the tunnel getting ready for Nick Mangle's Ring of Honor, unique Ring of Honor speech. We're hanging in there, and I know I could hear the crowd cheering, but I wasn't sure what was going on. But it was a nice day for Nick. If there was a positive of the day, he had a great speech. He broke out the beer.
Yeah, did he dish those out to everyone else or no?
No, he had it in his pocket, and then he took a swig. I thought he was going to crush it, but he didn't.
Yeah.
But it was just nice to be around the older guys. I guess I'm an older guy too. Seeing those guys, it's been 5 years since Mawai was put in. So it was nice to see them. I know Boozer's struggling, with his knees, and Wesley and his knees and his back, and Gaston. This, I fell down the stairs trying to help out Boozer get out of his wheelchair, chasing my chapstick. It was just it's a train wreck up in the suite. But on the field, it was great to be out there, and the fans were awesome. The fans were awesome. I appreciate everybody coming out for him.
The old life of a retired NFL player.
Oh my God, man! It was a shit show.
It's so funny. We talked about radio before, like something a dumb radio host said before we hopped on, and I remember a caller called into Mike Francesa once about a controversial playoff game, and it's like, let's just reschedule it and start it at that moment the next day on Monday, and the caller doesn't realize that you feel like you were in a car wreck after the next game in football, and you wanted to play the next day.
Yeah, it's people don't get it. I can't imagine getting in like 5 mini car crashes. Not a complete head-on, but you get banged around, your hips hurt, your joints hurt, you got a headache, you're sore. Imagine working out for 3 hours straight and you haven't worked out in 10 years, and how you'd feel the next day. That's kind of how it is. So people don't understand, but
I tear my hamstring watching the NFL Combine.
Actually, I was at the Jets stadium last night for a punt pass kick competition. If you go on Tony Richardson, I think it's his Instagram feed, you see two people pull hamstrings on the same 40-yard dash.
Oh.
In jeans. It's bad, man.
Yeah.
So people don't understand, but it is what it is. That's why these guys are professionals and get paid the big bucks.
Let's see. Here we go. Good evening, gentlemen. Robbie Wayne. Hope has been restored from Hawk. Well, thank you, Hawk. We need Chrebet back on the field from Christopher. Who's that? Vaddy? Christopher Vaddy? What do you think, Wayne? This Sunday?
It was nice being back on the field for the ceremony. But it's not didn't feel the same way the last time I was there when I played. But I'm happy watching and cheering for my team.
Let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Someone says Sylv established the run. Zach going to be rusty. Yeah, Zach will probably be rusty, but the main thing with Zach is I want his in between the ear stuff to be sound. So they need to establish the run for sure, but I'd also wouldn't mind if LaFleur did some quick stuff early, especially on early downs, first down, second down, to get him into a rhythm.
Yeah, I know they've done everything they can this week to get him up to speed on the speed of the game. So you can never mimic that, in practice certainly or in preseason. So it's going to be tough initially, but if they can get the running game going, it's going to make a lot easier. We got a question from Sneakers to Boots. Wayne, value your locker room insight. What the heck do you think is going on behind closed doors? Hey, listen, it's a gut check. These guys are looking at each other. And at this point, they need to support each other, offense and defense and vice versa. You can't have, a divided locker room. It's only been 3 games against 3 really good opponents. Yeah. And they come out and win this week. And, they're back even. So, I'm sure at this point, like you said, they're looking at each other and say, listen, it's early. We need to kind of put our big boy boots on and, get out there and get a win on the road.
Yeah, I do like what DJ Reed did, speaking his mind in the public this week, saying we got to get things straight. The miscommunication has to get straightened out. Sauce Gardner, he's been as good as advertised, even better than what I saw in August. You just looked at him, you saw what he could do, how he could move his height. Incredible. But there has been some pre-snap stuff, and he's a rookie. It's going to happen. But it's not just Sauce, it's the defense. So the fact that Reed said that publicly is a good sign, in my opinion. Yeah,
he's tremendous talent. And you think about him, he will turn and face the quarterback at the last second to get a good eye on the ball. So he's going to get some picks doing that, especially if there's some underthrows. But, he's the real deal. I know, it's communication with the safety on his side. That struggled with that a little bit, but that comes with time, repetition. So I'm excited that we have him.
Yeah.
Somebody said, if it's a bad year, do we go after Sean Payton? Listen, Joe Douglas and Coach Sal are going to be here next year. I really don't think, unless they don't win a game the rest of the year, they have to consider something, but it's not going to be the case. Those guys are, building a great team from the ground up, doing well in the free agencies. So let's not get the, Coach Sal talk, going, because there's no need for it.
Yeah. And listen, if either of us, questions anything like strategy or game, what has happened over the last 2 years or a year and change since Salah came in the building, the atmosphere, the talent is drastically different. So not all head coaches come in the same shape and size. And in my eyes, Salah does the harder parts better, but you can't see those parts until the results come through, like the culture, the communication, the relationships, all that stuff. That's really tough to do when building a football program. But, if I criticize strategy, I guarantee you they're doing it to themselves as well. So don't go crazy with Sean Payton. Besides, I'm sure Cowboys fans are tripling that talk right now.
So there's 2 comments here from Hawk. I really hope LaFleur doesn't have him throw 50 times. We need him to get the run going. And then Ledja Killa says, need to actually get a lead first. capital letters, for more than 22 seconds. Yes, you can't get behind and be only leading for 22 seconds out of 3 games. And they've been slow starters. But like I said, I think LaFleur's starting to see what kind of weapons he has in Breece Hall and Michael Carter. They start off running the ball well. I don't know why they get away from it.
Yeah.
And obviously they need to get Braxton Burris and these jet sweeps and screens to these guys and let them run with the ball. High percentage throws, but obviously any one of these guys, the interior guys, can make big plays after the catch.
Yeah, I mean, the real positive on offense so far, without Zach Wilson, is you could see LaFleur's DNA, his scheme DNA coming through. Like, they're imposing their will and running it when the defense knows the run's coming. So they've run the ball really well. They've ran it really well. They just have been put in situations where they can't do it.
Yeah, like I said, it's just they need to scrap what they were doing, and just restart with Zach, because it's not the same game plan that you would have with Flacco, that you would have Zach. I mean, I don't know how mobile he is, but from what he said, and I've seen, he said he's 100%.
Yeah.
So getting out of the pocket is part of his game. So hopefully that's in the game plan.
I think he's good. And what was interesting is when Garrett Wilson went out of the game, the separation really lacked downfield. I think he's really important to this offense.
Yeah. I mean, he can make a lot of things happen. And they all can. I mean, collectively, like you said, you got 4 really good receivers that all kind of do different things. But I think maybe Zach will spread it around a little bit more. I know he was early in the season, it was a lot of Corey Davis, and then later on in the year, it was Elijah Braxton.
Yeah.
But Zach and Garrett need to get on the same page quickly. I'm sure they're working extra in practice because Garrett's going to bail Zach out a lot. He just needs to give the kid a chance and throw it up there. What could happen?
Yeah.
Pass interference.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Just throw it deep.
You have to stretch the field if the defense is crowding you and they're on their toes, especially in today's game, because you're rewarded big time if you go down the field, even if you don't complete it. DPIs, you get the defense thinking. But LaFleur hasn't been able to do that, especially in the first game when there was no time in the pass pro.
Yeah, there's no time. I mean, what did they say? The first week, it's like 2.5 seconds in their back or whatever it is. It takes that long just to drop back, let alone drop back and throw.
Yeah.
So they can't get down the field. So go with your weapons.
Berrios jet sweep.
Inside guys. I mean, screen whatever you can just to get some first downs and then go deep and just give the defense a rest.
I'd expect a lot of Berrios. Yeah. A lot of Berrios jet sweep this week to take pressure off the O-line.
Yeah. So looking at more of these, LaFleur is creative, more concerned with the defense problems. Yeah, I think more people are concerned with the defense right now. I think because they see the potential with the offense, and like I said, I think Zach's the guy. He has some rapport with some of these receivers, and I'm sure he's working hard with Garrett in practice. But if you had to look at everything, you'd have to say it's up front on both sides of the ball. And I think they're both fixable.
K Crypto Guapo. I don't know if he's trolling. Flacco should stay the starter. What say you, number 80?
Why should he stay the starter? He did it. He's serviceable. He did a good job, but he's just a game manager.
I just wanted to get you going a little bit.
Now 1 ounce of me wants Joe Flacco or Mike White in there. I'm all in on Zach Wilson. That's not just me being a homer. I just know how much better he is than those other 2 guys, especially at their point in his career.
Ceiling, folks. The ceiling. Like, if you unlock Zach Wilson with what he has, with that, especially with that quick release, it's unlimited what the offense could do.
Yeah. So, like I said, don't stop the nonsense. Don't go on my feeds and say, Wayne talked to coach and tell him to put Flacco in. It's Zach Wilson. It'll be until I see different. So we'll see.
You're not gonna get him. You're not gonna get him all in a frenzy, folks. No matter how hard you try.
Okay, Steven Engel, Mims replacing Davis would actually be better. That makes no sense. Corey Davis is a big pickup for them. He makes catches. He has drops in the worst situations, the easy ones, but he makes really good catches. But I can't see why they wouldn't give Mims some kind of chance. Just get him out there. Somebody's got to get it going, and then you just play the hot hand. So Flacco can handle Blitzburg defense. No, he can't.
See, Flacco, he's a traditional 7-step drop quarterback. He loves to hold on to the ball and try to make a play downfield.
Yeah.
And that's counter to today's NFL. Like over the last 10 years, the NFL's gone where Flacco is not. It's going in opposite direction. So it's tough.
Yeah. Like I said, people are saying Flacco's a statue. Some people are saying that guys on the TV are saying use Flacco. If Zach was not 100%, if he was not 90%, I would say you keep Flacco in there and just hopefully he manages the game, takes the air out of the ball, long drives, and just can win it in a low-scoring game. But they're not going to win scoring 17 points, 20 points.
Mm.
They're going to need to score more until this defense gets its act together.
Here we go. Let's see. Willie Colon. I didn't realize this. Willie Colon, former Jet, said that Flacco should play against Pittsburgh.
I don't know. I didn't hear that from him, so I'm
Neither
not
did I.
Make believe that he did, just in case he didn't.
That was from PCR. We see you, PCR, trying to stir the pot.
All right, so Delgado again. Do you think starting the game off against the Steelers with a zone read option offense would help create some rhythm? No, you can't have Zach running. You got to do whatever you can to make it easy on him. We don't want him doing running the read option and RPOs, all that stuff. You got to just smash it up the middle.
That's in your back pocket type play.
Yeah,
when you have to have it later in the game.
Yeah,
I like the thought process, but yeah, not first play. I think first play. I want to see Barrios jet motion to get east-west, help that O-line.
Yeah.
And like you said, smash it, use that east-west and run the ball.
Yeah. Like I said, they're saying a couple people said Flacco. Like I said,
that's interesting.
They can win with Flacco. Listen, they were 5 or 6 plays from winning that game last week. I'm not saying they can't. They can't win with Flacco with that game plan that they had last week. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Flacco can't win. I'm saying with that game plan that they had in, they're not going to win with him.
Mm-hmm.
And just with Zach, I think you could open up the playbook a lot more with the things he can do and the talent he has. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they can't win with Flacco. I'm just saying with that game plan, even if it'll be tough for Zach to win that game plan, but Flacco can still win. But I just think Zach Wilson, the ceiling, like you said, is so much higher.
Yeah, you're more limited in terms of what you could do as an offense with Flacco. Yeah. It's not about veteran quarterback play. It's about playbook. And as long as Wilson is okay in between the ears, because that's Wilson's, and I'm not saying he's a mental case or anything, but playing quarterback in the NFL is incredibly difficult. And as long as he's feeling confident and he gets off to a good start, you have a good shot at getting rolling there.
Yeah. So Chidi Chook said, both Willie Bar Scott said it on the post-game show.
Okay.
That Zach shouldn't be put against the defense that Pittsburgh that's blitz heavy. Listen, they've blitzed Joe Flacco and he can't get away. He can't get the ball off. And he's just taking sacks. There's no chance of him kicking out or getting out of there and extending the play. At least Zach can do that. And then that I don't know. I want to know what his completion percentage was, Zach, against the blitz. That's a good question.
That would be interesting.
And he can get out of there if he needs to.
Right. But in the way I look at it too is his release is so much quicker. He doesn't mind 3-stepping out. Flacco, that's not his game. So I just don't get that at all.
I like this comp. And Fendi 007, we paid our tight ends for a reason. Yes, I said one of some of the biggest moves they made in the offseason was picking up Conklin and Azuma. Just from playing a lot of fantasy and seeing what they did for their teams. These guys can catch. They can run with the ball after the catch. Very good in the red zone. So I know they've thrown a Conklin a little bit. But, yeah, we paid them for a reason. And like I've said before, a tight end is a young quarterback's best friend. So hopefully they get put into the game plan.
Shivanshu, thank you for the super chat. I didn't even realize we had that on. Good job there. Shivanshu says, feels like Zach gets a lot of hate from this fan base.
I don't know. Well, you go to the stadium, there's an awful lot of number 2 jerseys out there. I just think you can't blame him for what happened last year, or what's happened these first 3 games. Man, it's a clean slate with him. Let's see how he does. Give him a week, give him 2 weeks, let him get up to speed.
It's the life of an NFL quarterback too.
Yeah, the jury is not out on him. He's young. I mean, how many games has he started? The 10?
Yeah, maybe a couple more, but not a full season yet.
Yeah, so you can't be hating on Zach. Yeah, when he's in there, he plays hard. He's doing everything he can. He's just a young kid. Just needs to get in groove with LaFleur. And like I said, don't hate on him. He's a good kid. He's good for New York. He's good for the Jets. And I think everybody will see that.
Yeah, I mean, the real evolution of this team starts now for the next 14 games from Hawk. Pass rushers in this era will feast on pocket quarterbacks, James D. And I think that's a good point. It really is. The way this game is with the rules, pocket quarterbacks, they're not extinct. They never will be extinct. But you want perfect scenario. You want your pocket quarterback, pass first quarterback to be mobile.
Yeah, it's just, it's a different game. You just need a specific kind of line for, passing quarterbacks and mobile quarterbacks. So, like I said, the game plan is going to be different from last week. I think it's going to be more suited towards Zach Wilson's style, which I think the play calling has been for him. Only had the wrong quarterback in there.
Yep. All right, folks. Last couple questions. Get them in. Brian Flores now with the Steelers D has a little insight on Zach. I mean, yes and no. I wouldn't read too much. I wouldn't think that will play too much into it. I think that's overrated at times. But yeah, he is there now. How about those Dolphins though, and Tua? What do you think of Tua and what the Dolphins are doing?
I thought he was talented, but the way he's playing, the statistics he's putting up. But someone said, what did the guy say on the ESPN this morning? For those who think he's the next, Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, yeah,
Josh Allen was.
He's more like a Dak Prescott kind of player who's a very good quarterback. I don't know. I mean, they keep winning. He keeps getting, throwing the ball at Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, they got weapons.
That's a nasty combination.
Yeah, I do like their coaching staff too, but we'll see. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. At this point last year, everyone thought Sam Darnold was the next Joe Montana, and the Carolina Panthers were the next dynasty.
And there's no pressure on the Dolphins. There's no pressure on the Dolphins at all. Everybody's looking at from the Bills come out of the East and to go to the Super Bowl for the AFC. So good for them. It's going to be tough when we play them, but hopefully that we're, kind of gelling and going forward, with some wins before we actually have to go down there and play them.
Agreed. Let's end on this. Jonathan Richter, I can't wait to see Waddle and Hill, Tyreek Hill against DJ Reed and Sauce. Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah. They might need a little help, down the field. It's going to be tough to hold these guys for a whole game, but I think they're both up to the challenge. At this point, we just need to get some pressure or however they could do it on the quarterback, and we'll have a better shot.
All right, Jets fans, check us out on iTunes, JetX Mobile on the App Store, Google Play, jetsxfactor.com. Use discount code 80. Get your free signed 8x10 Wayne Chrebet photographed pictures. I actually mailed out a couple yesterday to a couple different subscribers. Going like hotcakes, of course, always. And of course, on YouTube, share this video, like it, all that good stuff. Wayne, take us home.
Yeah. Like I said, it was a tough week, but we get to start again, this week and with our quarterback, our main quarterback. So I appreciate everybody. Tons of people in here asking questions. We try to get to as many of them as possible. So maybe we'll look to do more live shows. I think the fans really like that. And, hopefully this time next week, we're celebrating a big Jets victory.
Absolutely. All right, Jets fans, we'll see you next week.